So after that, like maybe less than 2 months later, I bought the RV, remodeled it myself, hand, and then drove out here. And I just started to go to every single conference. So every single networking event that was going on, whether it was free or paid, I was there. Any co-working spaces that were lit where people were working out of, I signed up for those. So I was literally in every single room and I would not be ignored. You know what I'm saying? Like you will work with me either whether it's today or if it's the 15th time you see me, you're gonna know me. You know what I mean?
So you bought the RV because you didn't want to pay for rent out
Yeah,
here?
well, I bought the RV because one, my wife has a history with RVs and stuff like that. Like her
Okay.
family in Europe
Okay.
owns a RV park,
Got you.
so they got like a 6 million euro RV park over there, super high end, fancy stuff.
Wow.
So I never even knew that there was this quote unquote fancy side
Market it.
of
Yes.
RVs. So that was the inspiration. Me and her wanted to actually travel the world, travel like at least the country first. So Atlanta was going to be like the first stop I wanted to set up roots, and then we
Mm.
were gonna keep going around different spots. But it just so happened when we got here and we kept getting opportunities and kept growing, I just said let's just stay here for now, and then we're gonna revisit that later on down the line because we started to travel across the country and out of the country and all that stuff. So it just I ended up having to park like just park it there and leave it there for a year.
Yeah.
No, just because we got so busy, you know what I mean?
Gotcha. Now that makes sense. Okay. And so yeah, I want to go back to like how you scaling, to 50,000 a month. I mean, that's a little over half $500,000 a year, and bring in money coming in here, which is really it's a lot, but we both know that's just
Now,
scratching the
now when you
surface,
now
you
when you
know?
got payroll and you got
Yeah,
staff and you got expenses
exactly.
and
Of
you got all this type of stuff is
course.
really I gotta get my own payment out of
Right.
it from as an employee.
Of
You know what I'm
course,
saying?
of course.
But at the end of the day, the way you scale and grow is through what we was talking about yesterday, process and systems.
Hmm.
So before I was doing everything myself and fulfilling everything myself, it was very difficult for me to be able to even pass 10,000 a month. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then once I started to actually implement the trainings, started to implement checklist standards and all this, that's what allowed me to start hitting 20K, 30K, 40K. And then I built a system that allows me to now create the fulfillment side pretty much automated. So now when I'm servicing clients, I don't have to, even my team, I got robots that help my team. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Correct.
now my team has even less work to do. They just have to really remain quality control.
Right.
So that's for me, what I did. And that's what I saw was the lack in my dad's business. So, for example, in my dad's business or in my wife's business, they built very successful businesses, but they were stuck being the operators. They were
Correct.
stuck in there. So there was always a cap to how much they could make.
Make.
So with us being around, the people that were
Of
around,
course.
I learned about I got to automate things. I got to make robots help me more. So that was really a big shift in the last year that allowed me to hit my first 50K in a month and allowed me to keep scaling and growing. If I wasn't able to have the robots with the standards in place, then
Correct.
I might not be able to do that because it was a lot when I was getting to 20K and I couldn't fulfill at that level. You know what
Correct.
I mean? To keep growing it.
No, 100%. No, that's crazy. You mentioned about getting in the room. I've built my whole business and brand by getting in the room. I mean,
Hmm.
so it's crazy to hear like you moved to Atlanta, you get into all the rooms free or paid. I mean, I don't I don't go to the events unless I get VIP. If
Hmm.
not, sold out, whatever, but I'll catch you the next time.
Hmm.
I gotta be in a room with the right people, collaborating, chopping it up. I mean, I've literally made tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars being in the room, just networking with one person, just meeting one person, one person, one person, following up with them, kind of building a relationship
Hmm.
and connection. I mean, your network is your net worth.
100%.
There's multiple times in my career where I have a little bit flat broke, I had nothing, just lost it all, just mistakes, or got screwed over, whatever the case
Hmm.
happened. But I still have a really solid network. Like I say, hey, bro, I'm starting this new business. I don't necessarily have to lend me some money, but how can I give you value so I can kind of exchange or
It's
for
all
some kind of services?
relationships.
That's all relationships. It's
The
literally all it
relationship
is.
makes you more money. Like
Yes.
if you're after currency,
Yeah.
you need to have relationships to build the
Yeah.
currency.
Yeah.
You cannot make money without relationships. And that's something that my dad taught me in business
Correct.
because when we were doing our routes and doing all that stuff, we had relationships with the managers. We had
Of
relationships with the
course.
owners of the stores. So those are the people that me and him connected with as me being the general manager for the business. I was able to connect one on one with them. So even though the employees or the people might be hating or there might be a situation with a customer, we still were able to get grace because we had proper relationships.
Right.
So a lot of times people think, oh, I need money, I need money. But if you haven't built the relationship, then the money won't come.
Right.
So that was one of the main things when I got out here. I seen the circle of CEOs. I seen all the
Yes.
different influencers and the way they network with each other and affiliated with each other's products and services. And that was what became like okay, I see the blueprint.
Correct.
Let me run the same place. So that's why now I run with my team and my circle, with my wife, with my cousin, with Sterling, with Layla, and we all work together as a unit to be able to bring opportunities to each other. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
That's the Circle CEOs. I went to their event like in September, I believe, the
Yep.
big one, the big conference they had. I've never seen such a community of people that actually like shake hands and do business
Mm-hmm.
of just the love and strength of just being in the right room.
Yep.
I mean, I go to Greco-Roman events and everybody there is kind of like it's just a different atmosphere. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
like, they have everybody just tunnel vision, no one want to collaborate. Out here in Atlanta, and especially those events with Neo and all them boys, it's collaboration, collaboration. I mean, bro, I cannot. You can. I have to. You have to try not to get somebody's attention and not to collaborate with
That's a
somebody
fact.
because everybody's like, "Yo, Mono, what do you do? Hey,
Yep.
Chris, what do you do? Hey,
Yep.
Javier, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Everybody's trying to like tap and meet in
And
my
you got the
circles.
secret sauce because what I did, my cousin, he does content, so we have a whole content studio at our house.
Nice.
So when we go out, my cousin got the camera. We're pulling up.
Yes.
I got my team members with me. We got cameras. So I use the camera. That's my secret. You know what I'm saying? The camera is the VIP. I get more access with a camera than with money.
100%.
You get what I'm saying? What you need me to do? I got you with the backstage, behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? I get into any room with my video team and with the squad. So the camera is a secret weapon that most people don't know. If you learn that skill of how to shoot content, how to do little mini interviews with people in the hallways, like those are all opportunities. There's times where I didn't even have to pay for a room that cost tens of thousands to get in there because they actually wanted us to be in there with the camera. They wanted us to get content for them. So these are the things that people need to understand. Like maybe they don't have the money, maybe they can't go VIP, but you can still go. You can still be outside of the conference interviewing the people as they're walking out. The money's being made in the network and not necessarily just in the education that's happening inside. And a lot of people miss that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter if you flat broke and you ain't got no money. Figure out a way to add value, like you said. Buy with your own iPhone with a $50 gimbal.
Yeah.
Pull up and start talking to people. And hey, what do you do? Hey, how could I work with you? Da da da. And I bet you if you do that with 50 people, by the time you leave that conference, you're gonna make some money, guaranteed.
That's crazy. That's crazy. No, you're absolutely fucking right, bro. You're absolutely right. Sitting out there networking. You know what's funny, bro? I actually did that with InvestFest. So that's why I'm laughing. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
you was outside networking?
I couldn't afford to go to InvestFest, so I was outside of that shit. Literally pulled up, had the had the thing, and networking with people.
That's how you gotta do it.
And what I also did was, I knew people that were going to the event. So I said, hey, I rented a house. Hey, I'm having a private mastermind. Like, invite people, and so they're like, "Oh, are you going to the mastermind?" No, I don't. What a mastermind? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're going to that.
So now you became the event.
Now I became the event, leveraging all the people there. And that's my real secret. I didn't do it this time, but I do it most big conferences. Is what I do. I walk into the event. I had like 4 or 5 people I come with. Like, bro, if as all 5 of us bring in 5 people, now we have 25, 30 people in the room. Now I'm in control of my stuff, and people because everybody wants to be they want to feel special and included. It's like, but you know about the after party?
Yeah.
No,
and the thing is, that's the first thing and most important thing. That's why I always tell people is ownership, right? So it's different. You go into these networking events, you go into these things, but what do you own? What's your platform? How are you getting people involved with you and your business? So when you become the host of the event, the host of the party, now you get people to pull up. So I do something every month out here in Atlanta called Winning on Wednesdays. So it's a non-profit event for free for everybody, and it's about suicide prevention. So we have people pull up, and it's like I call it a creative business mixer. So we got music, we got hookahs, we got drinks, and then we also talking business. We also talking about mental health and how to creatively express yourself, how to grow in business, and with networking. So it's really a powerful thing when you're talking about how do you start scaling and growing is by actually making your own platform, making your own podcast, making your own things, so that now when you're out there networking at other people's events, you have a reason to invite them back. You have a reason to get deeper connections and follow up. Hey, I want you on the podcast. Hey, I want you this. If you didn't have a podcast today, me and you might not have this conversation today.
Yeah.
But because I met you yesterday, you told me pull up to the podcast.
Yeah.
Now we here. So that's how
100%.
relationships are built.
100%.
You know what I mean? So
and now I pull up today. I got Sterling. I know him for about a year now. And now I got you. So now I come today. I know I got my friends out here coming network, another podcast. We collaborate, do an event. Maybe we do a giveaway. Maybe we go do some homeless stuff, or maybe we
Mm-hmm.
go to some soup kitchens or whatever the
Yep.
case is, and collaborate, do more fun stuff together.
Facts.
That it is all giving back to the communities, networking, collaborating, being inspiration. You know, I'm 22 years old. My parents are from Venezuela. They came out here, United
Nice.
States. They live in Jacksonville, Florida right now. They have an insurance company right now that they've been running for the past 5 years. My dad started working at Northwestern Mutual,
Mm.
in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was going door knocking, and every day he'd knock 100 doors. He closed 10 people. 100 doors, closed 10 people, and he would
Yep.
not come home unless he had 10 people, like getting the policies from him
Yep.
because he knew that we had to go eat. So I kind of growing up, I kind of saw all those different things and kind
Yep.
of learned
That
a lot.
grind.
That
Yep.
grind, coming home smelling like cigarettes, coming home smelling like smoke and stuff. He doesn't smoke, but it's because he had to go to their houses and sign the policies, and he hated it, but he loved to see us eat. We had there was
Mm-hmm.
no choice, and so
I did door to door too, bro, for a
yeah,
little bit. I worked for a Fortune 500 company doing door to door
right,
marketing. That is not a drill.
nah,
That is real life. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
There's
no
there's
way,
a process to all of that. So when you're talking about going, think about the numbers. You just said
yeah,
100 doors, and my job was to get 3 signups. So if I got 3 signups, I got a bonus.
mm,
So it was difficult, like to get 97 no's.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
no,
that.
no
That's a
shit,
very difficult process, and if you don't have the grit and the mentality to like push through that, it could be very, you could get very negative. You get very depressed of like, damn, I'm just getting no's all day. But it's like to be able to push through that and then come out the other side and say, yo, I got the food for the kids today. I got my 3. I got my 10. Whatever that number is
yeah,
for
yeah.
you. That's really entrepreneurship at its
Yeah.
base.
Yeah, no, for sure it is. And so I see my dad grow into that. And then he's like, one day he's like, man, like, I'm making like, he'll make like 80 grand that year. But he realized the person that owned the brokerage, the insurance brokerage, he probably made a $250,000 off of
Yeah.
him, and he didn't do anything. So he's like, man, fuck this. He went home to my mom and said, hey, listen, you're gonna get your license. We're both gonna do this together. We're gonna start our own company. And then he started doing the same thing until he didn't have to anymore. So he's getting a lot of referrals. He targeted the Latin community. With us
Beautiful.
Latin people, when we get a discount or something good,
Yeah.
yo, we spread the word, man. We
Facts.
tell
Facts.
everybody about it. So my parents started doing that, and then now that it's very successful, doing around 50 grand a month, 60 grand a month,
Nice.
passes every single month. Because with health insurance, you get paid every single month.
When they pay.
Yeah,
Yep.
$20, $15 every single month.
But you
it
got a
adds
lot
up.
of people. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
so
beautiful.
doing that is beautiful. So now I grew up seeing passive income. I grew up seeing entrepreneurship, and so any business that I did. But I said, hey, make sure you have passive income. Passive income, no matter what it is, it has to pay you monthly.
And that's important.
100%.
Because even with me, I'm now, because I got the robots in place and I'm growing my team. That's my goal now. Because a lot of the money I make is not based on passive. I have to fulfill.
Right.
So I have to make a website. I have to do content. I have to do things to get my money. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm switching my model more where I'm only going to be working with a select few of Fortune 500 companies or government agencies, and then the rest of it is going to be more, recurring, monthly. They could get access to the software, they get access to my team and things of that nature, but I won't directly be involved.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%. So the people who don't know, active income is income that you actually go out and earn yourself, and you go sell a product or service for exchange for money. Passive income is money that you work one time for and get paid forever.
Yep.
Or invest.
Yep. So very, very important, as the way you build wealth is through passive income.
100%.
It's through buying real estate.
100%.
That's why so many people love real estate, because you're not necessarily working for the real estate. They got to work to pay their rent,
100%.
and you get collect the rent.
Yeah.
So,
and something that I learned recently, I'm saying it every day now because I love this. It's a saying, multiple streams of income is a tool of the rich, not how you get rich.
That's a bar.
Right?
I like that.
So,
I like that.
Because a lot of people because I know I started I had the shiny object syndrome, or however you say
we
it.
all do.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to have everything. And at the end of the day, I'm doing a whole lot of nothing.
Yep.
So you got to stick
You're
with something.
spinning the wheels.
Yep. Stick with something. Blow it up first. Grow. Make 6 figures a year. Okay, now I want to start something else. I want to start investing, doing different things. But that tool of having multiple streams of income is once you already have a decent amount of change.
Yeah, I was just talking about that with Sterling and Josh yesterday, and I was explaining that if you got one stream, right, you got to turn that stream into a flow. That stream don't
break
become.
that down. Break that down.
So that whatever you have a skill, whatever skill set it may be, right? Like let's just use me for an example. I do digital marketing, so I have a skill of building websites and funnels. So that's one skill, but that becomes a stream. So I'm getting money every month from it. I'm working my clients, doing all that stuff. But then now I add a mentorship component to it. That's another stream, but from the same skill. So I'm not going into a different world. I'm
Correct.
staying in my lane. Then I add an ebook to it. That's a third stream. Now, once you keep adding more, like let's just say I'm adding a software component to it. So now they could just use the software directly, build their own funnels and websites. So all of these things become different streams that as you build it up, now it becomes a cash flow system because
Exactly.
now money's coming in from multiple directions, whether it's $100 here, $1,000 here, 20,000 there. All of it becomes from that one skill set I learned. I'm making all this money from that. And a lot of times we get distracted. We're trying to make 7 new streams and it's all trickle effect and we end up going broke trying to invest in these new things. When if you
Yes.
just triple down on the thing that you knew, now you're gonna be able to build that up stronger.
Yeah.
Alex, who does the trucking, Alex
Yeah,
Good
good
Energy, he's one of the ones that I really got that concept from, like because of the way he did it with trucking. I being that my dad does trucking, all this stuff. I seen my dad consulting for years. He put so many Dominicans onto the trucking business. You know what I'm saying? And like he didn't get no money.
Right.
He didn't make no money off of that. They went off. They made $250,000 plus. They fed their family. They did all stuff. My dad still had to keep working hard. Still had to go deliver the bread. And I'm like, why aren't we charging
Makes
consulting
sense.
fees?
Yeah.
Why aren't we getting a percentage of
Yes.
the outcome? So these are all different ways that when Alex did it, I was like, that's the way my dad should have done it.
Yes.
That's the way I need to be doing it now.
Correct.
And that's the way I try to advise, all entrepreneurs out there, don't go after 2-3 things because it's very difficult
Right.
to get anything to 100,000, let alone 500,000, let alone 1 million.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to set up systems and process around that if you master that one thing, you're gonna be able to easily add those other layers in, and now that's so much more cash flow for you that
100%.
allows you to now I want to play around. Let me go do cars. Let me go do media. Let me go do all these other plays. But you can't do that starting off.
Yeah, no way. You can't do that starting off. And it's funny. So you mentioned that your dad was helping a lot of Dominicans out, and so it's funny because so this year I'm really trying to focus on helping a lot of Hispanics. I'm tired of going to Walmart and they're working there. I'm tired of going to McDonald's and seeing them work there. I'm
Yeah.
tired of going to Waffle House at 4 a.m. and they're working
Yeah.
there. I'm so tired of seeing them kind of slaving their lives away, and they're old. I mean, we're not talking about 22. I
That's
mean,
a
we're
fact.
talking about 65, 70-year-old,
Yeah.
55-year-old, grandmas, moms, aunts, etc., working and slaving out there. And so I'm trying to pushing out as much content as I can so they understand, like, hey, this is a new wave. You can open up your mindset. You can become an entrepreneur. It's happened. Not saying that having a job is wrong, but I know most people aspire for more.
Mm-hmm.
I know they aspire for more. They aspire for a better life. They aspire to have nice things. They aspire to travel, take care of their family, not have to work and be home. So
I think that's one of my things right now is I'm actually in the midst of launching a public school. So I want to like do an online free public school where people could come in and learn digital marketing, learn about tech, learn about all the different things that they could do to grow their business. Because at the end of the day, they don't, especially Spanish people, minorities,
yes.
they're scared of tech.
Yeah.
They're scared of software. They're scared of content. They're scared of all these things because it feels